Let's start. Hey guys, very good afternoon. This is Puneet from Skill Floor. So hosting on our topic today. So what are the skills that you want to know it in 2026? So we have a couple of people who have already logged in for our webinar today. Okay, so there are quite some people. I think there are a few more people are ready to join. Okay. So before beginning with the webinar, right? So what do you guys think? Like, what could be like certain skills that we really need to learn in digital marketing? So if you have anything, the thoughts or any guesses that you have in your mind, so please drop it in your chat section. I think the chat is enabled to everybody. So the chat is yours. So I want to hear from you people, like what do you think the most trending topics, like which you are feeling like, this could be one of your skill. Okay. So please confirm whether my screen is visible. Right. So hope my screen is visible. Yes. Okay, so good to go. So what you guys gonna get it from this webinar? So is that the 5 skills that you really need to master, and which gonna be, and you also get a 90-day plan. So how you want to get started? So the most people they find the difficulty is not to find any relevant skill. The struggle is real because like people how to get started with that. So that is one of the major difficulty what people are facing. And how do you build a portfolio which can actually do help you to get the relevant jobs. So many new people you would have already got certain knowledge regarding the digital marketing from a very free platforms like YouTube or Udemy or any other free sources. So where you're having certain skills. So what matters most in digital marketing? So we'll be having a glance today, so that we'll be having um, and this webinar will be not having like any sugar coating words, so any wrong promises or something. So it will be pure like what you want to, what is something which is happening in the real time, so we are going to witness the same thing, right? So anybody had to join, so we'll wait for a minute. Okay, so we are live, so let us proceed. So as you can see in the market, so basically a lot of companies they are investing a lot of money in a digital marketing. Uh, but if you can see the market, it is not dying, right? So what is basically dying in a market is people who are lacking with the marketing skills. So when you talk about like marketing, so it is not something you pick a product, go for a customer, convince him, right? So we do it for a mass of people. So it is something where your brand has to visible for a mass, right? So more people will come to know about you and more people will start searching about your brand. So it could be something like, researching about your brand, and people will start coming for your websites. And if they like the content or the, the products which is available in your website, so that's how people gonna make a decision to go for your product. And if you can see many people, they go behind the certifications. So what is something which is more required here? So not more than a certificates which is required is the proof. So the proof means like what actually you have done. Like what is that something, the growth that you brought for your companies? Was it the what is the results that you really brought for your company, right? So what if you can't track results, right? If you're just guessing, so this doesn't gonna improve your marketing, right? So any companies, if you're not giving like the result, the trackable results, which is the data, right? Which is the main key for any business if it want to make a very good growth in a market. So if you don't have a track of those results, any efforts that you put for a marketing, it is actually dying, right? And why this happens? Because people don't know how to read the data. So this is something which many people are lacking in today's world, right? And this is nobody discuss in a market, and that's very shocking. So let me have a quick poll. So how many of you, who have joined this webinar, I want to really see, are you a student? Like, are you working? Are you a business owner? And what is that something that you are a dream, a kind of a goal? Like, you want to look for a job switch, or like you want to change your current job, like you want to change your, domains, or like you want to do a freelance works, or you want to have a better package. So let us have a quick poll. You can directly put it in a chat. Like if you're a student, you can start putting like yes. If you're working, you can just type W. And if you're a business owner, you can just put down B. Okay, we can start hearing certain things. Student and freelance. Oh, great. So student. Okay. Student. Okay. Working professionals, student. Okay. So I see like there is a mix of all the people, like students and working professionals. So how do we get started basically with the digital marketing? See, now you guys already done a research, what is happening in a market with this AI. And recently you could see a lot of layoffs which is happening in a companies because of AI. And many people again still having a hope. So my job, or I would be having a better salary package in the future, right? Based on this hope, like we are moving. Now again, many people have told, so AI will definitely take over the jobs. And definitely you can literally see many people who are losing the job. And there are certain people who are not still losing this job. The reason why, they're upgrading themselves with or they're upskilling with themselves with the AI, right? So that is something which is happening in a market. Okay, so lot many people are student working professionals. Okay, now if you see the digital marketing, how do we get started? See, digital marketing is something, so you need to understand the business, right? And for whom you are going to sell it, right? Basically, we call them as a target audience. So if you see the real world marketing platform, so we start displaying a lot of banners, we put a lot of investments on ads or newspaper or radio, traditional, basically the printable things, which gonna again show certain information regarding that brand or the services which they want to promote. But what is the main problem with the traditional marketing is, so you don't have a track, right? See, you can't even ask a customer, when a customer came to your shop, so which place, you have seen my ad, right? You can't ask like whether you have seen a newspaper, or you have heard from someone who is very known person, or you have seen from an Instagram, Instagram also we have a lot of ads now. So which platform basically you're trying to see, and you came, like we don't have a track. But in digital marketing, so we can see all this data. So basically digital marketing is data driven, right? Without this data, so there is nothing in digital marketing, I can say. So what you'll walk away with today's session, so you'll understand like what are the 5 skills uh, that you really need to what I can say, you really need to care a lot, or you need to put like more efforts to learn on that. And how do we get started, like where you need to start? Many people has a trouble, like the starting trouble, right? Many people have a starting trouble. So I see a lot of ads on multiple things. For example, like ads on performance marketing, and some people they call expertise in social media marketing. So what should I learn first, right? That is something many people has a problem. And what to do, build as a proof. Now, if you see the current market, see, they don't care about the marks that you're getting. So they don't care about the certificates that you hold. The only thing that they care, what have you done for your previous company? Or for a freshers, like what kind of internship that you have done, right? So what is something that you have really worked on? which is hands-on experience, right? And you also see our 90-day roadmap. How do we get started? So in order to acquire these top 5 skills. Okay. So this is something which I have not giving the information. This is something which it's a free resource and you can get it from a online, right? If you can see the digital ad spends has crossed more than 49,000 crore, and which is rise of 44% of share in a financial year of 2025. And Crisil, so which is again a stats website which has given a real stats about what is the average Indian ad spends which is taken care in financial year 2025. So if you see digital keeps going, so people are learning a lot of skills, people are investing on a lot of courses, and people are consuming a lot of content in social media. You yourself has followed a lot of influencers, you would have followed a lot of brands, you would have engaged, you would have followed a lot of your friends, you would have shared your daily routine. So many people are they have completely switched for social media, which is again uh, short form content consumption, right? This is something which is huge in a market now, and the demand for this, if you want to show something in a social media, basically is a someone who is sitting behind and who is sharing that content. Now what is that content that you have to really care about, right? What is that something, the content which you want to really share it for your market? So there is a huge demand, which is again which is again highest paid in the market for a SEO or a content writing and even for a reporting. And this is something many people they are lacking. Like they know how to do SEO, but how to do a better SEO which actually converts. So what do you mean by SEO first of all? So just an instant. See now let us think you have a shop and you want to gain a visibility, right? So since you have a shop, if you don't promote, right? If you don't put any billboards, see nobody will come to you. So if I want to get any information, what I do, I directly go for Google, look for any information. When Google want to give us this information, it goes lot many parameters, like we call as an SEO parameters. So it decides which one is actually eligible to rank at first. As an audience, what we generally do, so we always prefer the websites which is coming at the beginning, right? So the process of making your website to come on first position or second position or third position, basically in the first page, we call them as as an SEO. The content, now if you talk about the content, see it could be any piece of information, it could be the form of a video, or it could be the form of blogs, or it could be the form of an infographics, or it could be form of any image. So the content is something where it is educating your customers, or it is something which is helping your customer, or something which is solving their problem, right? So this is something, the content that is really required for your websites. And the reporting. Now the thing is, you have a shop and you have a great content. Now who is consuming that content is really important. End of the day, the business gains profit only when it target our relevant customers. And if you don't have that track, right? So if you don't have that proper reporting, the the whole effort, whatever that you're putting, it's gonna be waste, right? Now this anybody can do. Now what is something which is more I have to learn, right? It is something we need to learn, the consumer behavior, or something in the year of this 2026, understanding your customers is not that easy, right? It's gonna take a lot of efforts, lot of research, you need a lot of data for that. So only when you have these data, so where we have a lot of tools to check these information, and how do you decide based on the factors. So whatever the efforts that we put, it might not give initial days a revenue, but over a period of time it might start giving. It is definitely because what is that something, the content, or what is that something, the keywords, or what is that something, that the activities that you definitely doing on your website, right? So if you can see the global ad spend expected to cross more than 1 trillion in 2026, and lot of companies they're going with for an e-commerce, and along with the local business, which is acting, which is actually having the constant demand in the market. Okay, so this is not something which I am telling, this is something which Google is telling, which is something the top stats website which is telling, right? So if you can see the ad spend per medium, for if you say television, so in a billions, if you can see in a 2022, what was something in a billions they have invested. And if you can see the current market in 2026, so how much demand that we are having, how much people actually spending in ads. So digitally global, if you can see, there is more than 508 $1 billion they're spending every year. And if you can see the ratio, it is not something like, you are increasing like 5%, 10%. This is something which is rapidly increasing. What market is not getting is someone who is having like, the right skilled person. And many people, they ask like, okay, now how do I improve the skills? Now, everybody talk about the skills, like how to improvise. See, there is no shortcut way to improvise the skills. It is always something that we need to keep update ourselves in terms of like, knowledge. So we upgrade with lot of courses, we go with like lot of webinars, and many of you have came to these webinars. Maybe some of the points like, which can really an eye opener for you. So like that, we try to like, upgrade or upskill ourselves on any particular topic, right? So this is what something that we do. We have to do if you want to improve our skills. And I have a lot of knowledge, right? So can I tell like, I have a pretty good skills? So no, right? So we have something, we need to implement it. And for that, you need to have a platform. So without a platform, without putting into a practice, like if somebody want to become like, skilled person, like, it is something which doesn't make any sense. It is something that you need to upgrade, and whatever that you learn, right? So we need to put it basically into a practical. See, this is the something, the growth that we can see literally on a which is again like, a bit of AI, and lot many people might not know about it, right? Okay, I see a bit of like an audio issue. Just a second, guys. Am I audible? Am I audible now? Okay, good to go. Right? So you can see a lot of spends which is happening on a yearly basis, and you guys really need to like, pick it up. And if you're still thinking, should I need to upgrade? Like, should I need to take up the courses, or should I need to like, look for an opportunity? Like we are already lagging behind, because AI is already a reality now. Because AI is now a default tool in many of the like, teams. You pick a company where they're not using AI now. See, earlier, like, if somebody talk about like AI, people used to take like it's a big thing. Now, if you can see, it is something which is losing like, making like people to move from out the company. And companies also, they want it, right? It is something like, which can make a 10-man work with one person, and it can work throughout 24 bar 7. Now AI is reality now. So AI is not something which is a default tool in every team or in any business. Okay, low value tasks are already automated. For example, like earlier people used to pay a lot of money for graphic designers. Now you can see recently there is a again Instagram, there is a caricature, right? So what you basically do on your everyday, if you tell a chat gpt, it can create like, a very good design based on whatever that you have really searching in a chat gpt. See, this is something what people are using it for, like, AI. So they can create a lot of good designs, they can generate like huge chunk of content, right? And why people are paying? Because of your strategy. It is not something like, anybody can use AI. Everybody can use AI, but what is the something that you want to ask in a right way? That is something people are missing. How to use an AI? That is something what people are missing. So I feel very pity, like, people, they use ChatGPT to write like, emails, and people are started generating like, some certain quotes, Instagram quotes, Instagram caption, right? This is not something that we want to use it for, like, AI tools. So it can create a lot many things. Recently I like, for a fun, like I created a lot of small games, so which we used to play it like, in early days, right? So I have done like a lot of these kind of tools with the help of these AI. And what is that paid truth, that we actually get paid? It is not something that you know how to use an AI tool, no. So that is not something which companies pay for now. It is a something you control the money, right? See, companies, they spend a lot of money in order to acquire the market, like basically in order to generate a revenue. So you spend on ads, but how many sales you are getting? But can get the same number of sales with controlled budget. See, that is something which is more important in a current market. You know how to run an ads, but how do you make the campaign but more effective? How do you optimize it more effective so that you control your budget and you get a quality lead at a very lower cost. This is something where the companies are looking for, right? The truth control. If you can see the tracking and reporting. So earlier days, if you know how to run ads, it was going good. You used to get impression, you used to get a lot of reach. Okay, everything is going good. But the real truth, what after that? You got impressions, you got reach. Now how many direct messages you are getting, how many calls you are getting, right? Who are the people who are clicking on these links? Who are those people? Are they really your target audience? Targeting them, like how you're basically tracking them, and how you can put these data in a report so that the management team can easily understand, and they can make a decisions out of it. Moreover, so we need to learn something which is system control. Like how do you create that process? How do you create that AI workflows? So nowadays we have a lot of tools again like N8N. So people can create a lot of AI agents, bot agents, which can automate workflows, right? So even if you're a small company, you can create this kind of an agent, so which can automate the emails. If somebody make a purchase on your website, you can automatically send an emails for them. So this is the system control that company is actually looking for, right? Now, what are the top 5 skills that you really want to care about? And these 5 skills, you already know it, but how do you master? So that is something many people they are lacking. So if you can see, these are the 5 major skills what people are really missing out. So nowadays, many people I have seen again. So they ask a lot of things, sir, whether the courses currently there is a trend which is a AEO plus GEO, like answer engine optimization or a generative engine optimization. It is included in your SEO. What people they don't know, if it want to generate any content from AEO or GEO, the base itself is SEO. And many people they don't know what is the base of an SEO, right? So if it's something that you want to improve on your website, the base itself is an SEO. If someone who is looking a kind of an information in a chat GPT, if it chat GPT want to give your website details, the base itself is SEO. And many people they lack the basics itself. You have a very good or a very strong basics in your SEO and top, like you can make an appearance in AEO or GEO or everywhere. Okay, this is all something which is together, right? So for that, the fundamentals is something where many people are lacking. Okay, so Google Ads or performance marketing. See, when you call about Google Ads, anybody can create an account in a Google and they can start creating a campaigns. But what is something that you have to really learn is how better the performance it is giving. Whether you are really getting a conversions, like how you get a constant conversions, or you can get a better growth from your Google Ads. That is something again people are missing out. So earlier days people used to target in meta ads. I want to show my ads for the people who are looking for this particular product. We have these features. Right now, if you can see Andromeda update, it is all about your creatives. So it is something your creatives itself is a targeting now. You don't need to target so I want to sell my product. For example, I want to sell my uh, for example, shoes, right? So you need to create an creatives in such a way that it can automatically do that. So it again has a lot of insights around it. Like it could be the the pixel setup and everything. So based on this it can automatically get you the leads. But are you able to create these kind of creative enough so that you can get a better results? That is again very important. Talk about a social media, random posting is already dead. So you post something, you wait for your content is gonna get reach, your content is gonna get a lot of impressions or a likes or an engagement. No. So it is over more over quality over a quantity. So you need not to dump your content in a social media anymore, right? You post 3 content or 4 content in a week, make sure that is much more effective, right? This is something which is a fourth skill. See, I have given a main topic. These skills actually getting connected. See, as I told you, in entire digital marketing, everything is connected. See, you talk about SEO, you talk about Google Ads, or you talk about social media, you talk about email marketing, you talk about any marketing activity in digital marketing. Everything is connected. Now, when you go with the combination like this, see, it can actually scales in a better way. So SEO plus Google, see, which is something which can create an attention and which can create like, a lot of trust in your segment, like, in your audience. So we write a lot of content in SEO, we write a lot of blogs in our SEO, and we create a lot of valuable content in social media, which is just to create a trust, right? See, whenever I want to switch for any particular brand, see, I do a lot of research, right? So we do a lot of research. We look for like, certain options. We look like, we compare the products, we compare the companies, we compare the offers, we compare the pricing, we compare everything, and then we decide, right? If any brand which is started very new, it is very difficult to uh, change the change the brand, right? So with the Google plus Meta, so either leads or scale, right? So earlier, certain companies I have seen, especially medium companies or large scale companies, if they go with Google, so they always prefer Google. So we have to do something which is a combination, right? So Google and a Meta. So where we use both the ad segment in order to raise the leads or scales our business. With all this together, that is something which is very important to analyze the data. So earlier days we used to take a lot of time to read the report. That is something which is very very important. And with the help of AI, so it has been a much faster to make it our right decisions, right? So these are the five skills, how it is basically getting connected. Now, if you think about SEO in 2026, catching a random keywords in your website, posting a lot of content doesn't make any sense, right? So you need to go with something called as a topical authority, or make your content go depth. So Google again, it doesn't want to just go for a website, pull certain keywords data. No, it stopped, right? It is something which is looking for a websites where it is having a clear intent of your content, or a clear topics which has been there in your website, along with your user experience. So based on these only, Google is basically picking off any result, and it's making appearance in Google. So this is not just a only thing. So along with that, as I told you, the structure is again plays a very important role. So when you talk about the structure, it is like your web page structure. What is that something which I want to give it at the beginning? What is that something which I want to get the footer, right? In mid, right? We call it as a body. What kind of content basically we have to put it there, right? The clear structure will basically convince your customer. Now, what's the structure that we really want to put in? Many people, they follow the funnels. For example, we have a funnel strategy which is like IDAR raise. There is a lot of funnel strategy which people they use it. Okay, so to give a catchy or a hook at the beginning, and make them stay at the top, and then make them scroll down. So give an offer. So in order to convince them, people they go with testimonials, and then they provide a CTA where it can create an urgency to make a decision, right? So this is something, a kind of a structure. Generally, people they try to use it, and the speed of your website. So if you can see even now, so the websites which is having a better web vital, core web vitals, it can rank much faster, right? So if it Google want to collect a lot of your data, there should be a proper internal link structure. So when we talk about SEO, we have a web pages, and that we have a lot of links over it, and you click that, it redirect to some other page. So how better you have interlinked, so that Google can easily understand the uh, topic, right? So how it can easily understand the overall topic of your content. See, this is something that key that many people are lacking in currently. So the skill set, if you see on SEO part, like what you really want to improve, it is not just only on page, which you have to understand your customer's intent. It is not just dumping the regular content which you can get it from a chat GPT. So it is something you really understand your customers, and really put the right points in your website with a unique design, or having a better structure of your SEO, right? This is something that you really want to care. And when it comes to technical basics, many time certain websites Google will neglect to index, Google doesn't collect your pages, which is very very important. If Google doesn't collect your web pages, and if somebody is looking for it, so Google doesn't basically keep. How do you solve this? Basically, the indexing problem. Indexing basically we tell like Google has crawled your web page, which is collected, and Google is not storing your web page because it feels there is no value in your content. It feels like there is a duplicate content in your website, right? So how do you solve these indexing issues? And how do you make sure Google finds your website too easy to crawl, which is again a sitemap. In a simple words, like how to understand all these words. Like I talk about on page, technical, everything, right? See, it is something that you need to understand the word, break into two pieces, and club the word meaning. Now, if you can see CWV, which we call it as a core web vitals. See, when you talk about the core, it is something which is a main, right? So the web, basically, we talk about the website. And the vitals, see, whenever you go for hospital or anything, they check the vitals, right? So vitals, it could be like the BP or height, weight, or sugar level. This is something we call it as a vitals. See, those are all the parameters to analyze whether you are you are healthy or not, right? So whether is there any problem in your body. So like this, so sitemap. So the site again represent the website, and a map contains a location, right? So together we call it as a website location, which is basically all the pages which is there in your website. See, this how easily basically you can understand the terms in digital marketing, right? And we have a local SEO. So you want any a very good restaurant, immediately we go for Google Maps. And what if your restaurant is not coming on top? So you are losing a lot of visibility. So this is something we call it as a local SEO. So you have to become an SEO expert, not only in on-page technical, also in a local. And even a top companies they struggle a lot in a local SEO. They don't have like local presence. Okay, content systems. So this is something we call as a the depth of the content decides the ranking of you. So chasing a random keywords which is searched like millions, rather than going with that million keywords, going with a specific topic actually address your content. So which is a greater strength. Okay. So what is that something that you really wanted now? So it is something the niche. So go with a particular page, understand the clear intent. What are the problems generally people might find, right? So people might face. So collect those details and put it in your website and see how your website will start ranking. So this is something what people they don't understand, right? So they pick the random keywords and they stuff the keywords and make a website come on top, which doesn't happen. Okay. And if you can see the skill two, it is none other than Google Ads. And main people they think about the performance marketing. So when you talk about performance marketing, Google Ads is the not only the platform. It is something that you have to take care about all the platform. Like you should know about SEO, you should know about your Google Ads, you should know about the meta ads. Together, like how do you plan and how do you get the output? So the output basically refers is a revenue, right? So how do you like, for example, if a company gives a budget like around 10 lakh, so how you gonna distribute this budget in multi platforms and how you make sure you gonna achieve at least 1x the profit. So whatever that you have invested, at least you have made that much of profit. People are again finding a lot of difficulty. See, it could be with a lot of things, the competition in the current world, or the cost of people are bidding willinglessly. Like they put certain companies like who are already made it at the top, they started pouring money like anything, which is again could be one of the reason like why you're not getting a better sales or something which is a junk clicks which is costing you a lot of budget, which is not making show your ads to relevant people. Okay. So why the company it pays? It is not just to run an ads. It is to capture the high intent customers. So companies you see when you go for Google search, you pick you search for best digital marketing company or best digital marketing course in Bangalore. Is it really targeting your customer? So now everybody is bidding for the same keyword. Is there any other word which can actually make people to click on those links and make them as a customers for you? Right? So we always stick to a proper keywords which we have our data from a Google. Is there anything the keywords or the topics which we actually pick and we run ads? We lose because we don't understand what is that something that customer required. And Google is one of the most platform preferred in almost every Indian business because this is the one thing which can get you quality leads. And now people are again moving from so Google to even Meta. So they're not just going only in a Google or in a Meta, they're going with like combination as I showed in the previous slides, right? So this is something which can help you for scaling. So it is not just running an ads, people they use it for like scaling. Now what is that something that you need to master? Not just running a search campaign or a display campaign or a video campaign. Which campaign, what time to run, which is the right way to use it, which campaign if I run, like I can target my audience, which campaign if I use it, like, I could get a quality leads. That is something that we really want to learn, right? So not only keywords, because like Google doesn't prefer only the like, the bid value. So it also understand your website. So what is that something that you have showed? Is it really there in your website? So some people they use it for a clickbait, like misleading links. So you click on that, you go for somewhere else, right? And when you go there, you don't find the relevant content. So Google check everything, and then like your ads gonna rank. Like these are a lot of things which we need to master, and for that companies actually pay for. It is not something that you learn a demo campaign and you directly apply, right? It need a lot of budget. So how to get started is something which is very, very important. Like, as a beginner or a working professional, okay, it is something that we have to put it into practice. Without that, like, trust me, like, there is no other way. Okay. So landing page rules, if you can see like one offer, one CTA, one scroll story. So that's it. So people, they start putting lot of links. So if I go for any web page, like I don't click multiple links. I just click only one link, right? So which is something which is making sense rather than adding lot of links and making like people confused. So talk about one topic at a time, right? Put one CTA and talk about like only one topic in throughout your page. So but no, so many people what they do, they directly run ads for their home page which has everything. No, so you need to have a dedicated landing pages, and we need to test with the landing pages. So there is a lot of tools which can give us like results, how customer is actually behaving with our landing page with the help of like Hotjar. These are all the tools basically I'm talking about, which can tell us like where customer is actually spending more time. So if I just put my cursor like anywhere, like it can really show like uh, how much time basically my cursor like located at that particular point. If somebody is really clicking on your heading, or if somebody clicking really on images, if somebody placing your cursor on a CTA buttons, right? So we can really check all these things basically through our landing pages, like with the help of the Hotjar. What is that something, the proof that you really need to build? It is not just a campaign structure, right? What keywords generally got you a better leads, and what landing pages which has actually got a better conversions? Because like many people they click your ad, but end of the day we see zero sales, or like or very less sales. Why does this happen? Because of your landing page. Most of the time like your campaign will be performing very, very good, but the problem will be there in your landing page and people they don't rectify. So this is something that we really need to take care. So you need to build that portfolio. Which campaign structure actually started getting you a better results? Okay, what are the keywords which actually got you a better sales, and what are the keywords which is again cutting your cost? Like we call it as a negative keywords in your Google ads, right? What is the landing page? Like how you have built your landing page, because that is like your shop. You have done a lot of advertisements. People they have seen your advertisement and they came for your shop, and your shop is like messy and they don't know where to like where to enter, where to exit. So this is something which doesn't give any results. So this is something you guys really need to work. That means you need to build this portfolio in order to get like get a high paid jobs. So high paid jobs, it is not something that we can easily get in today's market. See, as I told you, so this webinar, it is not something which is like sugar coating. Okay, you learn this one and you'll start getting. No, that era is already done. It is something that you really need to put on your practice. It is something, see, during our earlier days, if I want to learn a website, right, I started creating my own website. So if I want to know like how these social media platform really work, see, we started testing our own like pages. So recently, like I think it's been a couple of years we have created. There is a page called as the riders and drivers in Instagram. Earlier, like we started posting. So that we started like before I get into the digital marketing. Okay, so we started posting to make some money out of it, and trust me, it has not been done. The only thing which I didn't do, or my friends we didn't do, is a consistency. See, we did a lot of mistakes. So we posted like, a random content, uh, which might not be like, a relevant content for our audience, which is why like, it has failed. So that means like at least we have given a try, and I know what things does generally doesn't work in social media. See, that is something that you guys are need to like, have as a portfolio proof. Okay, as I told you, certificates is very important. So that is for an entry. But what companies they don't expect is not like how much marks you got it, or like how much how many months you have spent on your course. It is something like what you have really done. What is something you really kept in practical, or what is the something the growth that you brought it for your previous companies. See, this is some companies like what it is looking for. If someone like they are hiring you, see, they are hiring you to make a money for their company, and that is for like you are being paid. And if you are not able to deliver, how long the company hold a person, right? So it's gonna remove pretty soon. Now, how do we gonna get it? See, it is because of the practice. It is something that we need to explore. We need to put a budget, and we need to like run an ad, see, test. See, this is how you build a portfolio. Okay, so there is a lot of videos. Again, I'm not gonna take the channel names. Like they promote in such a way, like you start your journey, and next month you can start earning 1 lakh rupees. Trust me, it is a dream. So it is not that easy. See, it might take months to like, get 1 lakh rupees in a month. And today you start a channel and you start earning money from the next week. Not possible. See, it takes months. It takes the efforts. And certain people, they literally tell in Instagram. I have seen a couple of people who talks like, a lot more reality, right? They started like, 1 year back, and they can start see the growth today. So look at the perseverance, look at like, the content they have created, look at the growth that they have taken, look at the consistency that they have made. See, this is something which actually works for a company, right? This is something your portfolio. So running a campaign is not at all a portfolio, right? If you can see about the meta ads. So as I told you earlier, you have a very basic structure in your meta ads. Like you have a campaign settings, you have something which is an ad set, and you have an ads, right? So in ad set, like we used to target certain people. For example, I want to run a campaign for an like an hair oil, right? I want to run a campaign. Now, who is that person who can consume homemakers, women, men, hair loss people, people who are like having an hair fall? See, we had a certain options where we can target them right now with the help of AI. So which is like an integrated part in meta ads. It can actually target your target audience. But if it want to give a better data, you need to have a like a better creatives. So which is again a recent update from a meta, which is an Andromeda. So your creatives actually target your customers. But how many creatives we are testing? We go with like 1 or 2 images, and we think like the campaigns are failing, and we are not able to like get a better leads or a better sales. See, we don't test with the like creatives, and we don't know what to put it in a creatives. That is a real problem. Okay, what changed? So targeting become viewer weak. Sorry, creative is like is a better targeting now. What is the something which can actually get your results, winning results? It is something, the topic or something that which can hold your customer. That is something we call it as a hooks. Hook is something which is like an attention grabbing words, which people make you to like scroll stop, right? If people are stopping to view your content, that means you have achieved certain things. And what is the frequency or the like the sequence that you have followed throughout your video, right? So when you talk about like something which is very, very important, how do you narrate your story in your video, which is very important. And this is where people are lacking. They are using very good hooks, but when the moment they wait for like 3 seconds or 4 seconds, people are again scrolling. What is that something? Because you are not holding your customer, right? Iteration. So it is not just like with one video you start getting like leads. It is something like an iteration. That means basically testing, right? So iteration basically it is a repetitive process. It is a continuous process. So what kind of content basically it is like getting you better results? It is an iteration. You change it, like check which like videos are basically working out. And if you can see the meta ads funnel, so we use a cold, warm or hot. So where we create a lot of videos with the hooks in order to like attract the customers, and then we'll start creating like certain ads with the help of our testimonials, which will hold the customer. Like at least it will start convincing the customer, okay, this is something which is a genuine which I can look for. right? And then using a CTA. So we call them as creating certain urgency. You would have seen a lot of webinars or a lot of brands. This is end of sale season, right? So they just give like 1 or 2 days, and we become panic, or we it creates an urgency that if I don't go with this product, that means I might lose it, right? So that is something, that urgency that we need to create. So where we need to run an ads. Now, all these things, I can't just go with one video. I can't just go put everything in like one image, right? We go with a lot of testing. So that is where we understand our audience. Like now, whoever viewed that content. So there are certain features where we can target them, how many people they have viewed, like how many seconds they have viewed, and you can save those audience, right? So with that, how to do a remarketing, which can get a better results at a lower cost. So this is something where companies are looking for. So they are not just paying to run an ads, they're paying you to run an ads, which can get a better profits. Okay, so I have just given a small framework, how basically you can create your images or ads for creating a viral content, or profit generating creatives, right? So it is something that you create a hook. So understand your customer problem. Okay, so start telling the same problem in that video, right? So once people there they find your ad is relevant, so they expect some solution, right? So provide the proof or the solution in your video, and then provide a testimonial, like who is already being benefited with that, right? So if you go for Amazon, we directly don't for a purchase, we see how many people have purchased, like we see first like other customer reviews. So it is something very important, like what is the proof on this, right? And if you're something a very beginner, or it's a new business, and you don't have any customer testimonial, see, go with something the USP which you are actually stood for. So provide that offer, and don't go with that CTAs which can misleads. So go with the CTAs which can attract your customers, like get a free audit, or book a demo call. So don't go sign up. Don't go with learn more. See, these are all the things it doesn't work, right? And if you can see the next skill, which is the social media marketing, and many people they still thinking, many brands they still think organic isn't dead. Like many people they think organic is dead. So to be frank, organic isn't dead. Random posting, like without any plan, or without strategizing your content, if you keep posting, it is definitely a dead. Like it is just a, you are just dumping uh, your content. So I see some of you people are not able to audible. Let me have a quick check. Hope I'm audible now. Is it better? Sorry for that, guys. So if you can see the social media marketing, as I told you, so organic posting is not dead. Basically, a random posting. Like I create a social media page without understanding my customer. I started posting like this what I provide, this what you need to know. Like this doesn't generally work. So how better you could able to understand your customer, like how related content basically you are providing. So how do you basically generate your followers? See something, if I want to follow, if I don't get benefit, definitely I don't follow anybody, right? So what is that something which customers can get benefited? See, we have to go with certain lead magnets at the beginning stages, right? So we provide certain things for free. So if you can see a lot of companies, and recently I have seen a campaign which is going on in a real time, which is a tan removal product, which is again getting a very viral in a market. Like the product name is something Gar soap, and there is one more product which is Nikoni Beauty, right? So this is something you go directly to the market, make people experiment on your product, and when people they start seeing the results, they switch to your product. See, this is something which can happen and which can go viral in a market, and with that content you can run ads, and that can outperform, and it can give a better results. Okay, so as social media evolved, it is something that it is building a trust. See, if you have a website, you generally a normal people will not understand how many people are basically purchasing in this website, how the trust will build, how many people are actually following, or how many people are engaging with your content in social media. right? See, that's how every website has a social media. It's not just for visibility. It is something which can drive the trust. So am I the only person who is coming for this website, or am I the person who is only purchasing, right? So people, they don't know at the beginning. Like when they go for like Instagram or a social media platform, they actually can see, right? How much engagement which is going on, what is the trust that they have built, how many people have purchased, so how many people got a negative reviews, how people have respond, right? So we could see lot many things, and this is what which can build a trust in your customers, and that is where you can start getting inquiries. You start from the day one, and you start waiting for the result next week, so which is not going to happen, right? So this is something that we really need to understand. See, you need to provide the three pillars which I have mentioned here. You need to educate your customers, right? You need to provide the proof. So end of the day, like since there is a huge competition, you can go with offers. But again, there are certain brands like iPhone. If you go for their website, they don't even mention the word offer. They have positioned their brand like that, right? But the offers that you can see, it is basically from third-party platforms like in Amazon or Flipkart. You can find certain offers. But if you go for their main website, you don't find an offer. You don't find a word called as an offer. Or if you go for something which is a luxury product, they never put the word which is an offer because they have positioned themselves like that, right? So it is all about like how you educate your customer, how you project your brand, how you promote your brand, the words that is there in your content which is really matters, in a which really matters for your audience, right? Not only that, we also make sure we put lot of stories and engaging stories. It could be something we go with certain live sessions, and we ask questions, what people are really feeling about, right? We take input from them, and we start creating a better content. So this just have given a basic model like how you can get started if you want to create a successful um, social media platforms. We start promoting three reels in a week, and two informative carousels, and daily stories, which can, again, it could be something which is an informative, or it's something an offer, or it could be something which is educating, or something which is a testimonial. So go with the regular stories. So this will help you to reach like your new customers, and at least go with one live or one question a day, which can hold your customers, right? See, we need to make sure something which can create this as an habit. And even when you're following like any your favorite influencers, right? We could see that, right? So they post started content on a very similar way. Like they might not post carousels. Again, there is a myth, right? I should just post like only reels in order to get a better reach. See, it is a myth. If a successful brand want to get a right customer, a targeted customers, you need to create the mixed content, right? Only the reels. Sir, I have posted a reel. I have got like around 1 million views. But my question is like how many direct messages you got, but how many calls you got, how many sales you got from that particular reel. See, reach, impressions doesn't give the business. The what things basically business, the reach that you got, is it a targeted reach? Like, is it something which is your target audience or not? If you have 1 million reach and you don't get any business, then what is the use of 1 million reach? So people are just going behind, on the followers, or going, getting 1 million reach. But nobody is bothered, how much sales they're getting, how many followers they got, how many, conversions they're getting. The conversions basically is sales or leads. So nobody cares about this. See, this is something that we really need to work on, right? So going viral, it could be multi-factor. See, it could be using trending audio, or the content could be a relatable content. So if it is gone viral, very good. But what is that next thing? How do you read the data? Now, for whom your content has reached? See, that is what something we need to really care about. And this is the CTS that we actually use in order to uh, see the older CTS, sign up, login, learn more, view more. See, all these things are doesn't motivate anybody to click and view it. So if it is something direct DM plan for if somebody has a content, so they go with CTAs, put it in a comment section, plan I can directly send you. So they use a lot of automation tools in order to share their the content. And many of the products also, many people they use the same automation tools in order to drive this engagement. right? This is something which actually working. So not like regular signups, learn more. See, all these things are already dead. And many people they tell again. So I use a lot of hashtags which can really get like the like my content will go for a targeted reach. See, hashtags are all already dead. So what is the something that is required in your social media is again SEO. So how better keywords you have placed in your content? It could be in your caption, it could be in your images, or it could be in your first line, and what kind of CTS that you are leading them. So when everybody click on a link, so end of the day, they come for your website. If the website doesn't show the same content, that means you have failed again, right? Your ad became successful, but your website failed in getting the leads, right? So what you have to build? So you have to build something which is, what is that post content which make your video got more successful, like it went viral. What is that something which made your content made more viral? See, that is something that you have to build as a portfolio. And what are the 5 scripts that you can use like on a regular base, so that you can start getting like the same kind of an engagement. See, that is a something that you have to build as like as a portfolio, right? At last, like if you can see the skills, the skill 5, you have all these things with all the AI tools you basically do. And how do you like read the data, right? So your key is in reporting, right? So you perform anything, like you got the user traffic, you have a lot of views. End of the day, it is all about like the reporting, and you don't know how to read the report, or trust me, like how to create the report. That is something you're missing a lot in a digital marketing. Anybody can use AI. See, if you go for a website, if you sign up, like they themselves give a like options how to use the tool. Everybody can know how to use the tool, but how to read the data, and how do you decide, okay, this data is really good for my business, and this is where I'm going wrong, or this is where I have to plan next. Nobody talk about this. So this is something which is a premium skill that one should be knowing if you're really learning, or if you really want to learn digital marketing. And is it that difficult? Compared to coding, this is far more easy. And many people from a different background, they join for digital marketing, and they have done a very great job. And many students of mine, like I have been a trainer from last 4 years. I have trained like more than 2000 plus students across India. And many people, they have in very good positions and in top IT companies. Like I can easily say like my students are in Amazon or Cognizant, um, First Source, Aldi Source, like all these companies, right? So they're in most of the companies, and some of them they have started their own agencies, and they are like started creating their own content. Some have become like influencers, and they are earning a very big time. In fact, they're earning more than me, because being as an influencer, like you can get paid very well if your content like perform in a market, right? So AI gives you speed. So how do you read the data with the help of AI? So this is something, a premium skill that really need to crack it, right? So your job ready reporting stack is something that we should be learning GA4 events. Generally, if I start a website, definitely it takes few months to like know what is really happening in my website. Because if you have a website, now I need to know who is coming for my website, and whoever came, are they really my customers, right? So this is something which can give us an idea. So how do you set up certain events, like, so whoever click on these things, so they are my real customers, right? So we set up certain events, and in order to track that, we have something called as a GTM. So this is basically, in simple words, uh, okay. So we have a GA4 and we have a GTM. If you have a website, we have to connect like GTM and GA4. So GTM work like your CCTV, and your GA4 we can take it like as a server. So your GTM, Google Tag Manager, it can see what is happening in your website. Now, who is coming, what they're doing, what kind of event they are trying to do it on your website. So this data is stored basically in your GA4, right? When it comes to Looker Studio, so this is something where you represent all the details in a graphical representation, which anybody can understand, right? In order to make this as a portfolio, so this is what we need to create. Like what happened when you did any campaign, what happened from your campaign, so why it failed or why it gained, and what is the next thing that you want to do it. So if it's something failed, so we don't end there, right? So we plan some other content, like we'll plan something else, and we'll start putting for a test again, and then we'll see the output. So this is something that basically we'll try to do it. So currently in the market, a lot of AI tools is there. So I need not to tell you what tools you have to use it. By the time you have used almost many tools, right? So in order to create images, we have a free platforms, which is a Canva, Firefly. And in order to create like, a lot of videos, AI generated videos, we have Gemini, we have Chat GPT, like we have a DALI. So for our websites, we have a framework and we have Webflow. So where you just give a input, like it can start creating a very beautiful websites. But again, so you need to have that expertise in, as I told you, see, anybody can create anything, but what next? What is the something next? You have built a website. What next? How you read your data? How you bring your people? See, this is something that you really need to care, right? So with this, I could help you to click, like, create a roadmap to build your portfolio. So you can get started like this. Understand the basic SEOs, like, pure fundamentals I'm talking about. Create your own landing pages, connect your, like, GTM tags. Okay. See, like, what is performing in your website. Read the data, analyze the data, right? In the next 30 days, start running an ads with a very minimum budget. Okay, see how your ads performing. So where you are actually failing, how your campaign like, performing. So you get, like, a real thing. Okay, so use certain tools, like, to do the reporting, like a GA4, or you can like use AI tools in order to draft, like, tools or a Looker Studio. Create a social media platforms, post certain content. Okay, so what is that something that output you got? Make it as a case study. Okay, so this is what can help you build as a portfolio. Learning a basic knowledge, like, expecting a high valued job or a high paying job, which is not going to happen in a real market. So these are something that we need to put it onto real time practice, learn it, and then improvising it, right? So nobody can become an expert in 3 months. If you want to become an expert, it takes a lot of exercise, it takes a lot of experience, it takes a lot of uh, pain, it takes a lot of like, strategy. It can take lot many things in order to become an experienced person. So then we can expect, like, a better package. So if you want to get started, okay, so we have a course called as a CDMP, which can cover all these 5 elements, right? SEO, where you can learn from basic to advanced, and we have a Google Ads where you can master which campaigns to, like, which campaign actually get you a right results, and how do you strategize the campaigns from the basic, and how do you understand the campaign, and how do you understand the data, and how do you, like, plan with the stats. See, that's what basically you're gonna learn. Meta ads, how do you create a campaigns with multi ad creatives, right? How do you do a better tracking, or how do you connect your pixels, and how do you track the data, right? That's what you're gonna learn. And what is that something you really need to do it in a social media marketing. If you want to get into an influencer, or you want to get into I don't know, like if it is like any brand you want to start, right? What is something that you really wanted to learn in social media? Selecting a social media, again, it is one of the very big thing now, right? So your audience are, like, scattered, like, which is the right platform to choose. Even many business, like, struggle to find that. And once you find that, like, what is that real content that you really need to post? What is that something your customers are really searching for, right? So together all these things, how do you do the reporting? See, this is something that you can start as an entry level, and you can get as an experience and then proceed. Now, who is this course for? It is someone, I don't know anything in digital marketing. I want to learn from the scratch, right? So for the students, so who have just completed their career, and working professionals, I am already in a very good position, but I want to change my career. And is it easy to learn digital marketing? This CDMP is for you. So freelancer, like, I'm already started content creation, but I'm not able to get the right reach, or I'm not able to, like, acquire, like, the market. I'm not able to attract the brands, and this course is for you. So for your information, so there is an upcoming batch which is coming on next Monday, which is again a 3 months duration, which covers all the three courses, which is certified SEO professional, like SEO, Google Ads, Meta Ads, social media marketing. Along with that, we have other perks like affiliate marketing, influencer marketing, email marketing. So all these, like, a combined course which covers under a CDMP program. And the batch gonna start like from next Monday. And I could see like only few slots are already left. So if you're still thinking, like, to take up the course, and this is your right time, right? So, and along with that, the course, so you do really hands-on experience. As I told you, learning is one part, putting into a right platform or experiencing that, or like, implementing, which is a superpower. Knowledge is the power. Again, implementing is a superpower. And you can really put your hands-on experience without 2 months live project, where you can work on your SEO, where you can work on your social media as well, right? So campaigns, definitely, see, if you want to run a campaign, we expect, like, you should have a budget, because no companies will provide to, like, go with the testing, right? So if you have a very minimum budget, like, you can literally put you like, add money in your campaigns, and we definitely help you to, like, how you can scale it, like, what kind of strategies that you can implement. So that you will be learning in your internship, which is again a online internship. Like, we have a both offline and online classes, which is go happening, like, throughout India. And we have multiple centers, and major centers we already started, especially in Bangalore. And we have a branch in Chennai, Coimbatore, Hyderabad, and even Mumbai, Baner, right? So these are the places we are going to start our batches very soon. And the batch which is going to start 16th is basically from a Bangalore Kudlugate, right? So this is, again, we have an online and we have both offline batches which is going on. So if you have any questions further, so we can have a questions here. So I think a lot of people, they have a questions here. Or you can just put it in your chat. Like, I think I can answer it. Okay, somebody raised a hand. Yeah, please go on. So the course fee is basically, if you're going as an, we do have an individual course. For example, like let me directly go for our website. So we do have a lot of courses, but this again, for a digital marketing, we have something called as a certified digital marketing program. So which is a combination of all these courses, which is includes like your SEO, your social media, and your performance marketing, which is covers like Google, uh, like, Google ads, Meta ads, all your tracking things. So all put together, it comes around 30,000 plus GST. If you want to take it as an individual, so the course fee starts from 14,000. Like, if I just go for, if you want to go for, like, only SEO, then the cost is around, like, 15,000 plus GST. So you pick up any course, like we have gone with, like, an ultimate offer. So the course charge is more than 60,000. But this is again a very limited offer that we are going for, like, 1400, 900, 14,900. Yeah, yeah, I could hear you. So hope I have answered. I'm gonna give you the website. Like, you can feel free to fill the form, and our team gonna get in touch with you guys. So let me share the link. So I'm gonna share the link in a chat section. So feel free to visit our website, explore what something which has been mentioned, and what are the real-time tools that you're gonna really learn, and what are the tools that you're gonna like, have a hands-on practice. So you can explore and then reach out to our team, and our dedicated team will give a call within a day. So since we have a lot of inquiries, so like, the slots are very limited. So it again, like, first come first serve basis for this coming batch. So again, so if you're again interested with learning with the skill floor, so we have a planning like upcoming batches. So I hope answered your questions. So how to get started? It's to start taking and you can start learning on it, right? Okay, guys. So I hope like it has given some insight like how to get started. So if you're really interested, like drop us a email. So at puneet@eflow.com. So drop in email. So our dedicated person will get in touch with you and he'll start giving like more details on it. So yeah, so Coimbatore, as of now, we have started with online classes. Offline, it's gonna start in the coming days. As of now, we have not started with the offline batches, but online is already going on, and there are already a couple of students who is been a part from Chennai, from Hyderabad, Kukatpalli, Madhapur, and even from Pune, from again from Bangalore. So many people are going with as of now online classes, and it will be an interactive session, guys. Like it is not just something that you see the video and learn. So it is always an interactive session. You have a doubts, you can raise anytime any questions in a class, and you can get solved it, right? So all the courses, all the sessions will go with live. So none of them are recorded. Topics, yeah, definitely. So if you see the topics, we're gonna learn SEO, which is again from a fundamentals to advanced. When I tell advanced, what is that something that you can find an issue when you go for a job, and how do you tackle that particular problem, right? So till that, like we call it as an advanced. It is not just something that you find a keyword, add it in your website, like get ranking. No. So how do you analyze the data and how you decide whether your activity which is really fruitful or not. So you're going to learn from an SEO. And in performance marketing, you're going to learn Google Ads, you're going to learn Meta Ads, you're going to learn email marketing, influencer marketing, and affiliate marketing. So even these topics are already covered. And if you go with like social media, so we covered with like major five platforms, which is like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube, right? So along with this, you do also have an hands-on experience with like even a Meta Ads. So how do you create an like account? How do you connect with the pixel? How do you test the pixel? How do you check? Like how do you create a custom conversions? So all these things you're gonna learn in a social media marketing, right? So these what basically the entire course covered. And the tools, I just don't need to mention, like we provide 20 plus tools. So people who are already in my batch, they know what are the number of tools that they do. They use it on a real time. So on all the tools are basically our industry used tools. That means when you go for a jobs, you'll be having a real-time experience when you go for your job. It's a real tools. 15. So for a CDMP, it is 30,000. So I'm just gonna type it in a chat. So for a CDMP, it is 30K plus GST. Okay. So if it's taking as an individual, so the course is like 14,900, or I can just conclude as like 15K, which is again with the GST. Okay. If you're taking as a performance marketing, okay, if it is again a performance marketing, the course is again 15,000. But what I can suggest, go as a bundle, because like if you go as a bundle, you will get one course for free, right? So that is basically that you get it. So this again a 15K plus GST. And if you go for social media marketing, so this again like 15K plus GST. But if you take it as a bundle, so bundle basically is a CDMP program, so which is altogether 30K plus GST. And I think my team is running a couple of offers. So please reach out to our website, and you might get like a better offer, whatever that number which I'm getting here. So the course is 15K for each, but if you take it as a bundle, it is 30K. So that is not included with GST. So GST is a separate. So any further more questions? Okay, I think I have answered a couple of questions. Like, as I told you, like you can still mail us to puneet@eflow.com. So I could share, like, a lot more insights, and our dedicated team will directly come to you to, like, to make a follow, and they can give you a better more information, and they can share you the brochure details, and, like, they can solve a few more questions if you're having, right? And thank you for joining this session and making it such a wonderful session, like, with your engagement, right? So I hope we'll be continuing with the further sessions. I hope somebody got much better idea. So what is actually companies they're looking for, right? So even if you're, like, if you're taken a decision that you want to start as a beginning, so just start it, guys. Like, don't, like, don't just keep thinking. So anywhere, like, just feel free to start it, right? If it's something which is a paid or free, feel free to start, and then you will start understanding the subject, and then, like, you can become an expert. So as I told you, expert is not something that you can become in 1 or 2 months. It takes an effort, and for that effort, you want to get started by today, right? So definitely you could able to learn how to build a website with the help of CDMP. So our first course, generally, like, website is a part of a curriculum, but we don't, like, pitch in this section, but you can build it. So currently we have a CMS platform, which is a WordPress. You will come to know how to use WordPress, and, like, it's a real-time session, live sessions, and you could able to build a website. Not only that, like, how to use AI tools to build a website, even that you'll be learning, and how to use a website, how to build a website with the templates, right? So even that we'll be learning in new sessions. So it's a custom plus with the AI plus with the templates. So you're gonna learn all these three. It is not something. So thank you, guys. That's a night session. So I hope a few things are very clear with you. If you have any other further questions, so please drop a mail to this email ID, and we would be happy to, like, connect with you. So till that, have a good day. So we'll meet next time. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.